All right, let's do this. The goal. The goal was sub 3, and it is still the goal. It's up on my wall there, and will remain there until I do it. I'm 30 years old. I've still got time. I got to put some more hard work in, and I'm cool with it. Yeah, I think that would be very impressive if I can get to that stage. And I'm happy to talk about it now because I tried. I gave it my everything. Got to the point where, well, yeah, you'll hear shortly down the video at what stage I was at towards the end of the marathon. I'm going to go through my list of hopefully all the information, full recap of the day, gear used, etc. and all that. The day before was nice and relaxed. I got my run done, run ride in the morning, just a short 20 minutes with 3 strides and then a short bike ride after. And the rest of the day was mostly restful. I stayed near the start line. It was good. It was a nice peaceful place to stay, not noisy, no fuss, no people running around pestering you when you're trying to stay relaxed. That was good. I got to sleep pretty early actually, just before 9. Got about 5 hours sleep, then stayed awake for, yeah, whatever it was. What is it? It was like 1:30, 2ish. Awake from then till the time that we left to the start line. But again, just stayed nice and relaxed, hydrated, listened to some music, get in the zone, get amped. It was all good. The food I ate the day before, so I like to have a little bit less food the day before. I had my smoothie fairly early, quite a large smoothie, and then a little snack of figs for lunch, and then just the cooked dinners that I always ate for the weeks prior, which was, yeah, like baked starches and steamed veggies, nice and simple, and ate it quite early as well. It was just after 5, so get the digestion, and obviously, you know, not lie in bed like a whale with a full belly, so you can get to sleep nice and early. And yeah, it all went well, as I mentioned. The gear I use, so I use my Ultra shoes. I've had them for quite a long time. They're a few years old. I've done 600, 700k on them. And yeah, I bought some other shoes from the States, but the size didn't end up working out, and that's life. Yeah, they're more like track shoes anyway, so I was happy with the shoes that I used, and yeah, there was no issues apart from one blister. So once we got going, got away nice and steady, and it split up pretty quick. By the time we got to Narrowneck Beach, it was, yeah, well split up, and there's plenty of space, which is cool. And yeah, just stayed nice and steady. I knew that I would just get the average down to 420, and it wasn't going to be a tough ask. Through the aid stations, I got water at each of them, just a single cup of water. Didn't start fueling until about half an hour in. Looking at it now, I probably didn't need to do that, but that's what I had done in the training runs. And yeah, so I had just 2 little quarters of dates at half an hour, and then just onwards from there. And yeah, it was all going good. I felt very, very comfortable in the first part, all the way around to the busway, no issues, was going nice and steady, and didn't feel worked at all, didn't feel like it was real taxing, which is cool. I got around the corner, you could see the bridge, and you know, obviously the bridge is the hardest part. It's the most elevation gain, 45 meters. Yep, again, you know, got up the bridge. I was going up the bridge at about 4:30, so that's, you know, a bit slower than what the average was going to be for that first part. And yeah, just didn't feel too hard. Didn't really look at the watch going up the bridge. Just stayed nice and steady, and you know, didn't push too hard to burn too many matches, as they say. Got over the bridge, down the bridge. I was coming down. It was a little bit southwest headwind, but there was actually a guy going about the same speed, so I kind of tucked in and used him as a bit of a wind block. I was coming down the bridge at 4:05. Felt comfortable again. Up around Curran Street. Yeah, no issues. Used that last little downhill, and then got under the bridge, came around the corner, and was like, okay, you know, I can start feeling it now. Like it's going to get pretty tough because I got to drop the pace to 4:10. And yeah, I was doing kind of like 4:15, a little bit 4:10, 4:15 for the majority of the way out to Tamaki Drive. And yeah, all going good. Again, you know, I had a few dailies and everything seemed good. Everything was going to plan, and I was saying to myself, you know, I can still do this. I can still do this. I still feel comfortable. Got through halfway, and it was like 1:31 on the dot. So, you know, it was my 3rd fastest half, and yeah, I felt very comfortable at that stage, which is cool. So was happy at that stage. And then yeah, out towards St. Heliers, obviously life was getting pretty tough. I was starting to have some doubts You know, not that you want to have those thoughts, but they're always there. And yeah, it was starting to become a struggle to try and hold 4:10, as you might imagine if you're trying to accelerate deeper into a long run. And yeah, I started getting stitched. Unfortunately, it was like 28k, kind of Mission Bay-ish. Yeah, it's kind of weird, you know. There's not too many runs that you do, these big long runs at intensity, to kind of experience these things. And yeah, unfortunately I experienced it a little bit, but I had experienced this on another marathon, and what I needed urgently was water, and that's what I got. So I didn't eat anything more until I got to the next aid station, grabbed 2 cups of water, and it definitely got better. I burped as well, which definitely helped. Yeah, that was cool. So it subsided, but it was still kind of there, and I don't really reckon it was stopping me or slowing me down, but it was, yeah, it was okay at that stage. Then things started slowing down, like it was getting tough at that stage. I wanted to keep holding the pace that I wanted, but you know, brain can say this and body can say another thing, and that's what was happening. And that's life. Got out to the turn and I thought, okay, you know, it's either going to go one of two ways. I'm going to get faster because I'm on the home stretch, or it's all going to get even more tougher. And that's what happened. It got even more tougher. It was a slight headwind. The conditions are really, really nice, really, really good. You know, nice, sunny, well, kind of overcast, but a little bit of sun, no rain, and very light wind. But yeah, as I said, the headwind, well, it was a headwind coming back along Tamaki towards the city, and that was unfortunate. I mean, it wasn't real bad, only a few exposed places, but you know, obviously you're fading at that stage, and it's not really going, it's not working for you. So yeah, carried on. Yeah, the stitch was still kind of there, unfortunately. Not real bad, but just enough to be annoying and a bit of a hamper at that stage. But again, just every aid station, it was, yeah, 2 cups of water, just trying to fight it off. And it did get better, but at that stage it was like, okay, we'll go into damage limitation and, you know, not push too hard as to end up walking and let it blow out massively. So yeah, I just kind of managed to, you know, kind of like push myself hard but not blow and not end up walking. And yeah, it all went very quick, which is cool. It felt like I was actually running a fast run rather than just like out there grinding, out there struggling, which is cool. So it was definitely a different experience. And for sure, along Tamaki towards the city, I was thinking, why am I doing this? But there was only a few thoughts. The majority of the thoughts were really good, and I was thinking, you know, it's still going to be a bloody good time. Let's not be silly about this. Let's not waste it. A nice day, you know, good run up until now, and that's what I did. I thought, you know, I could end up going back to the finish line being sulky and going, oh, I didn't hit sub 3. Everyone else around me going, oh, you know, this guy's in a foul mood because he didn't hit some time that only matters to him. So I thought a bit about that, and yeah, the overwhelming consensus or resolution from that was like, you know, I'm gonna still do a good run, a good time. I'm gonna smash my PB. I'm gonna walk away smiling, and that's what happened. So got to about 5k to go, and I actually started to see my friend who I started with. He was a little bit ahead with the paces, and I started to reel him in. Whether I think I was staying pretty steady, but he was slowing down, so that was good. Eventually caught up with him just past the helicopters, and then we went through the aid station, the last aid station. He actually started walking, took some water, and then I just kept jogging. I thought, oh, you know, he might just, as they say, like the bungee cord detaches or the elastic breaks, and I might beat him. But then he came back charging, got a little bit ahead of me, and yeah, I had not much fight left in me, and it's still like 3k to go at that stage. So yeah, it's tough. You know, you think you're just around the corner from the finish line, but it was, I was digging very, very deep. It's very tough, you know, and it was very stretched out. There's only a few people around, not much to feed off, but obviously you're getting closer to home, and that's always encouraging. So yeah, got around the last bit of the viaduct and around the corner, and obviously, you know, there's always like a little bit left to fight on and really dig deep, and that's what I did, and got to the last right turn, ready to go into the park and onto the grass, and there was a whole bunch of half marathoners coming through, and you know, because like I said, it was spaced out, there was no one else in the marathon chute on the left, and then there's a little silly ramp that goes over this little fence, and this guy just comes like flying around the half marathon. I was actually going to like just kind of fend him off, because I was just thinking like, bro, you've got your own side, like stay out of my way please, you know, marathon to the left, half marathon over there. So not what you want when you're 100 meters away from like thrashing through the last little bit to get to the finish line. And yeah, still just drove it home. It's always nice to finish strong. I had some family and friends in the finish shoot videoing, and if you've seen the other vlog then you would have seen that bit. So overall, still very positive day, very happy with the result. 22 minutes faster than my old one, which was just last year, so huge difference from then. And yeah, still some room for improvement, but you come across the line, kind of bent down, just kind of, you know, gave myself a moment. Some person came up to me and said, are you okay? You know, they're kind of concerned, and I was just like, yep, I'm good, and walked off. And yeah, from then on, it's happened before at Rotorua that I couldn't see properly, and the same thing happened because apparently it's like a sign of really digging deep, and that's what I did. It may not look like it after, you know, when I'm talking to the camera and stuff, but I was at the point of like, you know, if you push too hard, you're gonna fall, and the legs are gonna give up. So it's kind of like, you'll know what I'm saying if you've been there before. You're kind of teetering on pushing too hard, but getting there and not obviously like tripping up or falling or something. So I don't know if this comes across and sounds hardcore or silly, but whatever, it's marathoning. I enjoy it, and yeah, it's all part of it. So that's the recap of the whole run. After that, we just hung out at the park and had some good times with family and friends. It was cool. What I could have done better, I could have run longer, harder runs. I think like my big runs in the forest were at 4:45 pace. I think that I just need to increase them. Maybe it's 4:20, maybe it's 4:25, maybe 4:30 for similar elevation and distance, but obviously at a faster pace so the body can cope well. Because I went through 17, my first portion, and almost all the way out to the 30k marker on track, on plan, but then the body was just like, nah, you know, yeah, you can do the pace, but we can't hold it for this long. The fuel, I think that I should change the fuel. Eating and chewing when you're trying to run a hard long marathon doesn't really work that well. So yeah, I'll probably skip the dailies, and it'd be awesome to have a bottle on the special needs, you know, table, but you can't if you're a normal person like me. So maybe I need some small little bottles with date syrup or something, like Shamiza's idea. Yeah, I'll work on that. What now? So I'm going to do 2 weeks easy. Just, yeah, I'll probably run this weekend. I've ridden the bike the day of the marathon, had a rest day yesterday, rode the bike to work today. Legs pretty good. I'm definitely tired today, fatigued, and that's to be expected, but not bad really. So yeah, easy bike riding. Maybe I'll have a run this week, we'll see, and then some more training begins. I'm doing a 100 miler. I'm signed up for it. It's in just over 3 months time, so miler prep begins. Lots of endurance, hills. We'll try and retain some speed as well and see how we go. Next marathon. The next marathon is going to be, well, next fast marathon will be Hawke's Bay in May. So it was meant to happen this year, it got postponed because of the whole pandemic thing. Then it was meant to happen in September, didn't happen. Then they deferred it, well, they gave us the option to defer it till 2021. So I'm gonna go for it then. And the course is almost dead pan flat, so it should bode well for a fast marathon time. So if I can keep the form, plus some mileage training, then plus some more speed work after that, then hopefully we'll get that sub 3 goal. Injuries, yeah, none. Awesome, stoked. Amazing recovery. I'll put this clip in now. This is Monday, the day after the marathon. I can do this, no worries, unassisted. That was yesterday. I was, yeah, squatting, able to get up and off a chair, no worries, unassisted from my hands, which is very cool. And it's the absolute best recovery I've ever had from a hard marathon like this. It just seems to get better and better, and I think it's especially so from how clean I was eating, like no salt, very low fat, and obviously just whole foods vegan for It was almost 2 months and 5 weeks, very, very, well, perfect strict. I'm feeling fatigued and tired today. At work I was quite tired, and that'll probably last a day or two more, but no pains anywhere, like no specific soreness in the knee or the ankle or anything like that. It's obviously like a bit kind of worked feeling, but not real bad. I am mega stoked with how well the body has put up with this, and maybe people will think, oh, you didn't go hard enough, but I went so hard towards the end. Yeah, I couldn't give any more, otherwise I would have just fallen over and wouldn't have made it, and I don't want that. So it's definitely, like I said, a bit of a balance between getting to that stage and getting to the finish. Just want to also say thanks to Coach Colin. I still haven't met in person, but I intend to make that happen at some stage. Who knows when that'll be. It's been good to work with him. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's run a 2:49 marathon, so a lot quicker than me, and yeah, I've still got obviously some stuff to learn, some more training to do, but there's been a few times he's said a few things that have worked really well. One being that you just got to be steady through injuries and stuff like that, and you can't just rush back in and that kind of thing. So it's been helpful. Also in the taper, yeah, some good advice. So stuff learnt, and I'm grateful for that. So maybe we'll do something again next year. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna do the miler prep by myself just so I can have a little bit more of a social life over summer. But I intend to be fully focused and ready to rip next year at some stage. The taper went good. 3 weeks is optimum. I've done it 3 times now for 3 big events, and I will be doing it again in future. It didn't go exactly to plan, but it wasn't far from the plan. The only thing that really changed was that I was meant to do a 15k effort the week after my last long run. It didn't happen because there was a little pain in my left knee from that, and it was a good call. He said take 2 days off. I did. Things got better. It's way better in my opinion to work through and heal up before the final week of the taper, because you don't want to be going into a big event feeling compromised and not feeling strong in whatever it is that was sore. So it ended up working out really well. Happy with how it went. Do you have any questions? Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Hopefully I've covered off most things, and maybe it's helpful to you. If it was, please like the video, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.